back here on the John and Joe Sports Show. You're listening to us on 99.5 WSR Scranton and watching us via the Royal Television Network in your dormitories at the University of Scranton. How's everyone doing?
Wait for the response.
Yes,
Wait for
clearly.
the response.
No, we got nothing.
All right.
All right, so sorry for the delay. We're still learning how to do this. It's fine. You heard some good music, but it's time to get back to talking because we're doing a sports program.
Are doing a sports
At least
program.
I think so. I didn't get the lines. Nothing? Okay. No one's actually in here.
The teleprompter's not working.
No, we have
What do we say?
screensavers. I feel like the boom goes the dynamite kid. All right. So baseball is happening right now. And there's a game in progress, but it looks like it's going to be the final score will be coming soon, it seems. The Rangers are beating the Rays 5-1 as we speak. It's the top of the ninth, and there's a runner on first, no outs. The Rangers are batting, but it's not looking good. Actually, they're not batting yet. They're not even batting yet. It's the Rays who are batting.
The Rays are batting.
The game, it's done.
Hey, you never.
No outs.
There's no outs.
That's true. It could happen.
See what happens.
It's not looking good. Farewell, everyone out here. Now, finally, we're alone. All right. Well, give you a quick recap of the game. Basically, the team's two best pitchers. You've got Cliff Lee going for the Rangers, not the Phillies, which I didn't even realize he was on the Rangers.
Yeah.
I mean, they play in the West. I don't really.
Yeah, what's
And you got David Price going for the Rays, possible Cy Young candidate for the American League. And early on, it looked like the Rangers were going to capitalize, but they didn't. And then early on, it looked like the Rays were going to capitalize. They had bases loaded against Cliff Lee in the first inning, 1 out. They end up getting with nothing. And then the second inning, the Rangers scored 2, and then they scored 3 in consecutive innings. Nelson Cruz had a home run.
Benji Molina
hit a home run. That's when you know you're in bad shape, ladies and gents. Benji Molina's hitting home runs. Quick info for you. Benji Molina hit the last home run at the old Yankee Stadium.
Wow. I didn't know that.
It's a terrible stat.
Why didn't I know
Don't you
that?
wish it was like Jeter or A-Rod
No,
or somebody?
I wish it was Benji Molina. I do.
Well, good.
And thank God he hit the home run. How awesome is that?
Good.
Man.
Wonderful.
If I were to pick anybody, Benji Molina.
If I had to pick, it wouldn't be him. I'm just kidding. That's terrible. So that series is happening, and for all you Phillies fans out there, they're coming. 5 o'clock, I think, 5:30.
Yep.
Something along the lines of
It'll
that.
be on during the show.
Yeah, and we're going to give you updates of the game right as it happens, because we could do that. I have a laptop here. You can't see it. There it is. Look at that. See, you thought I was just looking at somebody random. There's actually information in front of me. Don't worry. For those of you listening on the radio, just ignore that. So we got the Reds and Phillies. Who's pitching for them? Do you know?
For the Reds and the Phillies?
There's a doctor.
I think I do.
Well, I'll tell you, because I don't know.
It's
if you know or
Roy
not.
Halladay
Yeah,
and Anderson Volquez.
you're right.
I used to have him on my fantasy team. That's how I know who Anderson
Well, nice.
Volquez
I did too
is.
until he didn't do anything. But you got Roy Halladay, 21-game winner, going against Volquez, who was 4-3.
Yeah. Yep.
But this series is actually really interesting. I mean, you've got the Phillies coming off their World Series appearance last year. They won in 2008, which we all remember well.
Yes.
Where we were. It's kind of like where you were when Kennedy got shot. Where were you when the Phillies won the World Series? I don't even think I was watching the game, to be honest with you.
I watched it. I think I was at one of my parents' homes, I believe. But
Shout out
yeah, parents.
to whichever. Okay.
Hi.
So, but you've got this Reds team playing out of their mind, hitting very well. The pitching is a little iffy. I'm not exactly sure how good Denson Volquez is going to do as their starter.
Right.
Bronson Arroyo was on my fantasy team. He's not terrible. He's going in Game 2 against Roy Oswald, former Astro, as we all know.
Yes.
And we've got Cole Hamels going for the Phillies against Cueto, Game 3. Mm-hmm. And really, this year, we can safely say that the Phillies bought their team. It's always the Yankees buying their team. This year, not so much. The decisions the Yankees made to buy players, terrible decisions, because they're all on the disabled list. Nick Johnson, Lance Berkman. Who? What? Where? When? Why?
How exciting! You finally get to get at some of the people who get at you.
I mean, really, this year the Phillies bought their rotation. They got Roy Halladay in the off season or the middle of the season. They got Roy Oswalt. Two of the best pitchers in the National League. You take Roy Halladay and throw him in the National League, it's like putting a Little League player down in T-ball, for one example. He's got 20. He's got his best ERA he's ever had, most wins, because he's in the National League. And it's kind of like facing T-ballers in the National League.
Is you gonna stop bashing the National League?
Yeah, I'm done. That's it.
Right,
But you get what I mean.
Yes.
The American League was a tougher division than the National League is, and he's dominating. You got Roy Oswalt. Their pitching staff is pretty stacked, and especially for a 5-game series, I don't know if the Reds are going to be able to outslug them.
Right. Yeah, I would have to agree there. I just don't see it. The Phillies pitching staff is just too good. The Reds are new to the playoffs. They haven't made the playoffs in years. So I just don't see it. The Phillies have the experience. They've been there, obviously, the past 2 years. They are the best team in the National League. I just don't see the Reds coming up with a win here, but you never know. If they get this first win on the road, I mean, in a 5-game series, anything could happen.
Because if you look at the regular season, the Phillies really didn't destroy the Reds in the games they played. There were a lot of late inning, extra inning, walk-off wins by the Phillies, a lot of 1-0, 3-2. I mean, for one of the wins the Phillies had, they scored 6 runs in the 9th. You know, they're getting these walk-off hits and stuff. It's not like the Reds just got whipped by the Phillies.
Right.
They just couldn't score against their pitching staff. And at this point in the season, it seems like the Reds are the stronger hitting team. At least they have stronger hitting players. I really don't know much about the Phillies. I mean, I know about them, but like this year with the injuries and stuff, they finally have everyone back, it seems. And it's going to be interesting to see whether Ryan Howard, Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley, whether they can lead their team like they did last year. Who's going to be that guy like Carlos Ruiz that hits that 8th inning home run to put them ahead? Or, you know, who's gonna step up? And you got the Reds, walk-off home runs by Jay Bruce. You've got MVP candidate Joey Votto going. It's going to be interesting to see if the Reds, it's basically going to be the Reds hitting. Can they beat the Phillies pitching?
Right. And in this case, as we've seen in recent years, in like every year, I think the pitching is the thing that wins out for teams. If you have a good pitcher or a good pitching staff, I mean, you are going to win. That is the most important thing for these teams. I mean, you've seen it in years past. I mean, last year you had CeCe, Burnett, and Pettit going and dominating. The year before that, you had Hamels dominating, and even in the playoffs against the Yankees and everything, Cliff Lee last year. Mm-hmm. I mean, these teams that have the best staffs and the teams that bring it to the table during the playoffs, they will get there. I believe that the pitching staffs are the most important thing going into the playoffs.
And that's what hurt the Phillies last year, was that they had Cliff Lee, but they really were searching for that second or third guy. And then when it got to the closer, Brad Lidge, he didn't have it. He blew a lot of saves. Yeah. He wasn't a reliable guy coming into the 9th inning. So it was up in the air as to where if they were going to win a game, and they didn't. Because the Yankees won their 27th championship on the shirt. For those of you on the radio, you know, 27. So who do you got? Who do you got in the series? The game starts in about a half hour. What do you think is going to happen?
Phillies win for reasons that I just discussed. They have a better pitching staff. They're the best team in the National League. They've been there before, so I believe it's the Phillies. I'll say in 4.
I'll take the Phillies in 4. Mm-hmm. I think Cliff Lee's going to win his first start. I think Roy Oswalt's going to be the loss, and I think Cole Hamels will shock everyone and actually pitch well in a postseason game, just for this series. I mean, if you look at it on paper, you'd expect Cole Hamels to be the loss. Like, he's terrible in the postseason.
Yep.
But I think it's going to be Roy Oswalt that actually is that. But I would love to see the Reds beat the Phillies. Love to see it. Not just because I hate the Phillies, but looking at it unbiasedly, look at the Reds. You know, this is kind of a storybook team. Dusty Baker leading this team through trials and tribulations of just being the Reds in the league. They're doing well, and it'd be nice to see them win. We'll see what happens. I'm rooting for them, but I can't see the Phillies losing in such a short series with three dominant pitchers.
Right, yeah.
Looking back as well with the Texas-Tampa Bay series, we could review a little bit on that because the game, we'll see what happens with the game. It's still going on, of course. No, it's over. It's done.
It's over. Final.
Cliff Lee gets the win, 7 innings. David Price gets the loss, 6.2 innings. I think he had 4 earned runs.
Yes.
4 or 5?
Yeah, it was 4. It was 4.
All right. So that's done for. Their next game will be the 7th, which is tomorrow. Chris Wilson and Shields are pitching. See, I wanted to go with the Rays, and I might still, because Cliff Lee can only pitch 2 games in the series.
Yep.
And I think that they'll beat him in that second time they face him. I mean, they had a chance to, and they just didn't. Frankly, this series doesn't matter to me who wins.
Gotcha.
Really, but I'd have to go with the Rays in 5, just because of the year that they've had as a team, as a whole. Everyone came together. I'm going to have to go with them in 5 games, just because the Rangers, you don't really know what you're going to get yet.
Yeah, I was having the same thoughts as you, actually.
That tends to happen.
Yeah, going into this, I was like, Rays all the way. They're definitely going to win. I said Rays in 4. But now, you know, Texas wins in pretty dominating fashion. 5-1 victory is pretty dominating. But, yeah, you got David Price. I mean, young guy coming in, first, just being the number 1 starter for them going in. That's a tough game for him going against the experienced Cliff Lee. So I am going to stick with the Rays, and I'll stick with Rays in 4. I think they take their next 3 games. Definitely don't count out the Rays. I've heard analysts saying that Texas is going to win this series. They really like Texas. I don't. So and that's all that matters, clearly. So I will say Rays in 4.
And it'll be interesting to see whether or not the Rays get fans when they play at home throughout the rest of the series, because they had no one at their games. I didn't watch the game today. I don't know if anyone was there. I'm assuming they had people in the stands for the playoffs.
There were people.
I don't know. We'll see if they come out. They don't have towels. They don't have thunder sticks. They don't have monkeys. So I don't know. You need that in order to win the World Series.
Absolutely, you do.
We're talking to you, Anaheim. All right, so moving along, we'll hit on the last game of the day, which is going to be the Yankees and the Twins. That starts at 8:37, give or take. Usually you take because, you know. You've got CC Sabathia going for the Yankees. 21-game winner with only 7 losses, Roy Halladay. And Francisco Liriano going for the Twins, who was kind of their Steven Strasburg a couple years back.
Yeah.
And he didn't turn out to really be as good as people thought he would be. He's not bad, but he's not as great as people once expected him to be. This is an interesting series. We saw this last year. They both opened as well, and the Yankees beat them in 3 games. Excuse me. A-Rod. It's hard to say his name. Years back, he cursed me, like in holes. So whenever I say his name, I have to. A-Rod kind of beat the Twins himself. He beat Joe Nathan with that home run in the 9th, and the Yankees just pretty much dominated the Twins. In the season, the series is 4-2, regular season. They don't really seem to have trouble with the Twins. And the Twins' problem now, it seems, is they don't have their closer. Their main closer, Joe Nathan, was out for the year. And Justin Morneau is not playing all playoffs because of a concussion he suffered about 2 months ago, which is shocking that he's still not back, and he won't be back at all. They've completely shut him down for the season. So you're looking at the M brother, which is Joe Mauer, and Jason Kubel. Shout out to Shia. For that one.
There we go.
I'm sure she's listening.
Oh, definitely.
And everyone else at the Journal, I'm sure they're all listening as well.
Sure.
We'll shout out everyone. Sam's Club members, Garrity's.
Garrity's.
Anyway.
GTRR.
It's going to be interesting to see whether, again, the hitting can beat the pitching. And by pitching, I basically just mean CC Sabathia and Andy Pettitte. Because A.J. Burnett isn't on the division roster.
Not on it. No.
Javier Vasquez isn't on the roster. You're looking at a 3-man rotation of Phil Hughes, Pettitte, and Liriano. Game 2 tomorrow, you'll see Andy Pettitte go against former Yankee Carl Pavano, who did nothing in pinstripes, like Javier Vasquez, then moved teams and does pretty well for himself. He's 17-11, 3.75 ERA, not terrible. And Denzing is going Game 3 against Hughes, who's 18-8. The question mark in this series is the Yankees pitching staff. We know about CC Sabathia. We don't know about Pettitte. We don't know about Hughes. Pettitte coming off the groin injury, and Hughes, he's already 90 innings plus over what he was last year. It's going to be interesting to see whether he can continue with his endurance or whether he'll tire out.
Yeah, it's really scary. I'd be scared if I were a Yankees fan.
I am.
Yeah,
I am not as confident as I was last year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have CC. He's a solid. I mean, he's gonna win. He's gonna win you 2 if it gets that far. That's what I would think. I mean, he's a dominant pitcher. He's shown he can perform in the postseason. He's done this before. So you not only do I think he's going to do it, but you really need him to do it. I think definitely in a short series. I don't know how much confidence I have in, especially Hughes. I think Pettitte could come out and do just fine because he's been there.
Yeah,
he's done it before.
It's like you flip a switch, and October comes, and here's Pettitte.
Exactly. So I think the Yankees will be okay, but I'm not positive. I'm not sure. So I would like to go with the Yankees. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close, but I'll say Yankees in 4.
It's definitely not as easy as it was last year to just go. They're sweeping the Twins.
Yep,
and they did.
Exactly.
But now it's if their hitting struggles, especially in the first game, and CC may give up 1 or 2 runs. If you don't win Game 1, you're in a lot of trouble.
Right.
I mean, it's been great in the past. You were able to put the weight of series on Andy Pettitte's back. He's your guy in the postseason. He usually comes back after game 1 loss and gives you a Game 2 win. However, that injury, I don't know if it's still nagging.
Yeah.
It's still too early to tell. And you're down 2-0. You're gonna put the whole series on Phil Hughes' back, who's been in the league now in the majors like 2 or 3 years. Mm-hmm. Well, that's asking a lot for him, and I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I kind of have confidence enough in the Yankees' bats. If they get really hot, they can easily get them through the first 2 series without any trouble at all. Last year it was the pitching that got them through, and even Burnett did well enough.
Yep.
But now you don't know. And it's gonna be interesting. I will pick them in 4 as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that CC wins tonight, Pettitte wins the next day, they lose at home, and then they win the Game 4. But if they lose tonight, there's trouble.
There's
in the Bronx.
trouble. Yes,
the Bronx
I
may
agree.
be burning.
I agree. Yep.
All right, we're gonna quickly go to our last series before we head to a break. We've got over in the National League, the Braves, the wild card victors, won on the last day of the season over the Phillies, got into the playoffs facing the Giants. And here's a series where you just wonder how these teams got there. you kind of forget about them as the year goes on. You're like, the Braves. I mean, you got Bobby Cox going out. This is last year's manager of the Braves. It's official. He's not going to pull a Brett Favre. He's done. And you got the Giants with this 3-man pitching rotation that kind of goes under the radar all year long, but could come big in this series first game, you're going to have Derek Lowe against Tim Lincecum. This is tomorrow at 9:37, give or take, Eastern Standard Time for all you listening in Los Angeles. You got Hansen going against Kane and Sanchez going against Tim Hudson for the Braves. I mean, the Braves, looking at their pitching staff, they're not bad names. They were good pitchers at times,
yeah.
not so much anymore. Kind of like how the Braves of old used to be, where like Smoltz and Glavine and Maddox were on like the downturn of their career at the end. It was just like, I don't know. I mean, the Braves are playing well now. They're the underdog team. They're playing for Bobby Cox, who's beloved in Atlanta, and you really can't hate Bobby Cox as a manager. I mean, you might.
I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't really care. He's hard to hate.
I can take him or leave him.
Yeah. And you got the Giants, who have 3 good pitchers, but then it's like, who's on the Giants?
Exactly.
You got the catcher,
Right.
Buster Posey.
Sure.
I believe that's the catcher. He's a rookie. He's actually a really good hitter. But what else? What else?
No.
You know, and
They have like Santabal or whatever his name is.
They're kind of like the Rays used to be. They had a good team. You just didn't know it was on the team. This is how the Giants are now. You know the pitchers. You don't really know the players. Randy Wynn's not on them anymore. I'm lost. No Barry Bonds.
It's
I
on
can't
the
name.
Cardinals.
Yeah, I can't name anybody on the team. So it's going to be interesting because of the Braves playing the way they are, and simply because I know more of them, I'm going to say Braves in 5.
You say Braves in 5. Well, for some reason, I don't know. This is a gut feeling. I'm going to go with the Giants. I said all along that the West, don't even mention them. They're not going to do anything. Well, I think the Giants are going to win this series. I think Lincecum comes out tonight, dominates, and they end up taking the series in 5. I'm going to go with, this is pretty much based on Lincecum. I love the guy, and I just don't see the Braves winning it with these pitchers that are, past their time.
I think kind of a red flag for Giants fans is they probably wish this was last year. Because Lincecum last year, he wins the Cy Young. He was a lot better last year than he was this year. He kind of struggled at certain points in the season. It'll be interesting to see whether or not he can overcome that in the playoffs. And the Giants haven't been in the playoffs in a while. The Braves, this is old hat for them. They've done it enough times. Bobby Cox is like probably sick of these first series. Like, let's just move on. We've been here before. It'll be interesting to see as a young team, inexperienced in the playoffs, what the Giants do. But don't count out the teams from this series. Whoever wins it, whoever wins the Phillies-Reds, people automatically think they're in the World Series. And it's hard for us to say, but don't count out these sleeper teams in the West. The Giants pitching staff could really turn it on right now and shock everyone. And the Braves are playing for something more than just the trophy. They're playing for Bobby Cox last year. And Chipper Jones is not in the lineup. He's going to be there rooting them on. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that team if they can overcome things and beat kind of a David figure in the Phillies or the Reds, whichever team wins. So it's going to be pretty cool in the National League. The American League is going to win the World Series because they're in the – no, I'm just kidding. I mean, the American League's not as like, they're pretty well matched. There's not really those sleeper teams as much as in the National League. So I love this time of the year. I tell it to everyone. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Yeah. Next to March.
Yes.
It's like they're like right there. It's like the Christmas and Easter thing, and like there's Christmas and like all these other holidays. What do you like more? I don't know. It's kind of close, but they're great times to be a sports fan.
Right.
We're in it right now. The leaves are turning, and the Yankees are in the postseason. All right, that's enough of that. So we're gonna go to a quick break. Play some PSAs for you guys. We'll give you the number right now if you want to text us your opinions on anything we said. It's 570-212-9877. That's 570-212-WOOSER. And you could text us if you agree or disagree with anything we said. Coming up next, we're going to hit into our NFL Pick'em, tell you how last week went, and tell you who will definitely win next week. while keeping you updated on the Phillies game in a half hour. So stay with us. You're listening to the John and Joe Sports Show, 99.5 WSR, and the Royal Television Network.
Are you trying to start a wildfire?
Sorry. Pastor Honey?
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
So, April.
Yeah?
You know your charger's still using energy when it's plugged into the wall, right?
Yeah, but that's not my charger. I don't even have a cell phone.
Millions of kids are using their energy wisely. What's your excuse?
So,
先生你好，歡迎光臨，等等先。唔該晒。Brandon.
This is my friend Rob from Michigan.
What's up?
He's a teenager.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Woo! Hey, you want to slow down there?
No.
Really? Oh, okay.
What are you doing?
We're shooting a viral video. Hold on, I want to see this. Hey, this is his last 5 minutes on Earth. A little something to Mom? Say something to Mom. How about, goodbye, Mom, sorry.
And we're back here at 99.5 WSR Scranton and the Royal Television Network. You're listening to the John and Joe Sports Show. We talk sports, you listen and watch.
And watch now.
I know.
Yeah.
Now it's
Yeah.
everything. There's no way around it. So for those of you that want to actually watch us, it's Channel 9 if you live in the dorms. If you don't, tough noogies. For now.
Yeah.
We'll get on eventually. We'll let you know. But for now, you'll just have to listen and picture what we look like. You missed the big graphic that our friends here at Royal Television Network made for us. Thank you for that.
Yes.
Okay, so we just told you who is going to win the baseball games. The series, we picked our teams. Let's see if we're correct. We already know the Rangers beat the Rays 5-1, and the Phillies are starting play in 27 minutes, give or take.
Give or take.
So we'll keep you up to date on that if we can, and it's only going to be like probably get to the second inning by the time the show's over, but I'm sure it'll be exciting anyway. They're probably going to turn us off once the game comes on anyway. I mean,
It's true.
I mean,
It's true.
actually, personally,
They'll turn the TV off and they'll keep the radio on.
they could do that.
Yes.
Because
There you
personally,
go.
I'd rather listen to us talk sports than hear the TBS announcers announce
That's
games.
true.
Because
That's true.
they're not the greatest.
Yep.
So, football, the American one, football Americano, last week. Actually, first, we'll talk college. You wanted to talk college.
I did want to talk college. All
Talk.
right, so
College.
I will talk. There was a game this weekend, and here I am on camera one. Between LSU and Tennessee, and it was crazy what happened at the end. Tennessee's up 14-10, and LSU gets the ball down to like the 2, and they have the quarterback Lee in. You know, he drove them all the way down there, and then all of a sudden they take him out and they put in their running quarterback. So they have no timeouts, and there's like 32 seconds left or so. So they run a play. He runs it, tries to run it in. Obviously, they know the run is coming because he's a running quarterback, and they stop him. All right? And now we're on camera too. And so after that, everyone's just standing around. The quarterback is looking at Les Miles, I assume, I don't know, to the sideline, and, just staring. The clock is running down. He's just staring.
Would Chris Berman have said, tick, tick, tick?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. It was the clock was winding down. They're just standing there. Then all of a sudden, some players come in, some players come out on both sides. And then finally, they snap the ball. And the quarterback misses it. It goes past him. And they jump on it. Game's over. Tennessee's celebrating. The coach jumps on people and stuff, and they're going nuts. There's a penalty. So after all that celebration, it's coming back because Tennessee had 13 men on the field.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I did see that.
So you did see that, yes.
And then they kicked the field goal.
They didn't kick the field goal. They ran it in for a touchdown.
Ran it in.
They ran it for a touchdown on the last play of the game. The blocking was not good. The running back pounded it in there, and LSU gets the victory. Horrible coaching,
That's
but gets
terrible.
the victory. That was so bad.
On both sides.
Yeah, on both
Were
sides.
you just like,
yes. It was
for like
not,
32 seconds of your life just spent like
I was
that?
just like, snap the, just do something.
Do something.
Spike it, then you get a chance. I mean,
if
it was
you're the backup, you still got to know how to play football.
It was, oh
Hey
my
guys,
God.
I just got out of the South.
It was awful.
All right, you know how to play, right?
They should have lost that game.
Yeah.
It was, oh my gosh.
That's depressing.
Yeah, to go through Tennessee like celebrating, and then wait.
Hold on a minute.
Wait, it's not over yet. Come back, and then LSU wins.
Well, Penn State lost
That's a shocker.
to a ranked team.
They never lose.
They were ranked. Iowa was ranked, and they beat Penn State every year they play them. It seems, and they lost 24-3.
Yes, they dominated them.
Who would've
Not
thought?
looking good for Penn State.
No. Well, they don't have any players.
No, they don't.
I mean, they had a good quarterback last year, and they don't have him now because he graduated, which happens in college, and
It does happen.
that's all they have.
It's a shame.
They have a quarterback from this area as one of their possible quarterbacks. You can't win with someone from this area unless you're Jerry McNamara.
Jerry McNamara. That's right.
But he's not. He's not.
He's not in the, so.
Anyway, so USC lost to Washington, which is depressing. Virginia Tech was victorious.
Woo!
Michigan won.
Woo!
You know what was funny? Somebody moved up in the rankings ahead of Boise State to third. I don't recall who it was. I'm pretty sure this happened. I could be wrong because I read it on something, and you can never trust what you read. But they moved up, and they have the same record. It just kind of happened.
Right.
I'll look.
Oregon.
So I don't sound.
There you go.
Oregon moves up to third ahead of Boise State for just no reason.
Yeah,
Hello,
Boise State.
BCS.
Boise State won.
Yeah.
59-0.
They won 59-0. Oregon just played a regular game and won. They move up. Why?
I don't know.
Well, they're 5-0. Boise State's only 4-0.
That's true. And they probably have some more points on the side there, which means something.
And
then you combine that with 25% of a computer, and
and there you go.
A man in a closet that he just says the rankings, and they're like, "Thank you." That counts as like 15%.
Then there's 3 doors, and you pick whichever one you think is the best door.
Right.
And you get points from that door.
Exactly.
It's the BCS.
Yes.
What can we tell you?
Yes. So.
Playoff system? Nah.
No need.
That doesn't work in any other sport.
No
It's
need.
time. So that's college. Things happened. They'll happen all year. People will win and lose. We'll let you know when the undefeateds go down and when teams move up in the rankings just because.
Yes.
I like that. Just because.
It's fun.
You have great. I wish life were like that. You could just slide by at your job. You don't have to do anything. Just sit around all day. You get promoted.
Just because.
Tom over there in Cubicle 5 is busting his workload, and he's doing all this different things. Nah, I don't like the way Tom looks today. Joey, move on up. Random names. Sorry for anyone named Tom or Joey. I'm not calling you out if I know any of you. All right, so moving on to the NFL. there were games last week. First one we're going to talk about is the Falcons and the 49ers. The Falcons win 16-14, beating the 49ers. We picked the Falcons.
We did, actually, yes.
We're never wrong on John.
Yes,
Sports
so
Show.
that's why
you
they
don't
won.
have to worry about that. Late field goal lifts the Falcons, and they win.
That's what happened, yeah.
49ers are 0-4, and I've never seen a more dejected coach than after that field goal went through the uprights. You know, the name slips my mind, of course.
Mike Singletary.
Mike Singletary.
Yes.
He looked like he lost a family member. You know, usually he's that guy that motivates his team, and it just looked like someone took the rug out from under his feet. He wasn't very happy when the field goal went through.
Well, it wasn't a good loss for the Niners, especially since they picked up. Did they pick off a pass late and then they ran it back?
The story is
he fumbled.
Yeah.
Roddy White knocked it out.
Roddy White knocked it out. The 49ers are winning the game. They intercept a pass, and the guy that intercepts it, who's Nate Clements, he starts running it back the other way. And he's in front of blockers. He's doing all these different things. Roddy White on the Falcons comes down and gets the ball. He knocks it out. There's a fumble. And the Falcons end up recovering the ball. There's like a minute and a half left, and then they end up getting the field goal to win. So the 49ers literally had the game, and they lost it because the guy went to run it back, which is all well and good, but at that point, let's go down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Good play by Roddy White.
Yeah.
I mean, excellent knowledge to know to knock it out. I mean, a lot of times at practice, that's like all they practice is knocking the ball, punching at it, and it worked out. And the winning drive gets kept alive. Matt Bryant kicks a 43-yarder with 2 seconds left, and down goes the 49ers. Down goes the 49ers.
And the Falcons 3-1.
Who would have thought? I wouldn't have. They're not terrible. They're 3-1.
Yeah.
So, all right, moving along after that. That's just an unfortunate game for the 49ers. I thought that they would do something, at least in week 3, to win, and they didn't. And now this week, it's just not looking good.
No, exactly.
We have the Jets. Shout out in the back to Nicolina beating the Bills. 38-14. Basically, LT runs over the Bills. LaDainian Tomlinson, for all of you that don't know LT, who think he played in the 70s, which is not an incorrect statement, but this is LT Jets now.
Yes.
Runs for 133 yards. Scores 2 touchdowns. I mean, you've got Fitzpatrick going for the Bills, who led them in rushing, which is sad when your quarterback leads your team in rushing. And they just pretty much dominated on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, dominating performance by the Jets. They should have. They're playing the Bills. So, I mean, there's not really much to say here. Jets playing well after just looking terrible in their first game against the Ravens. So, Jets good, Bills bad. I don't know. I don't know.
Well done.
Yeah, right? That got the point across, right?
It's true. So the Bills moved to 0-4 as well, and the Jets moved to 3-1, 2-0 at home. They're looking pretty good after that week 1 loss. They've really rebounded in a positive way.
Yes.
And they're definitely going to be a team to reckon with throughout the year. The Bengals lost to the Browns.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
The dog pound. You can't go into the dog pound and win. That's all there is to it.
Oh, jeez. How do you lose to the Browns?
Where did they play?
The dog pound.
The dog pound. That's right. This year.
The
Super Bowl's coming through Cleveland. That's right.
That's terrible.
Yes.
Hillis runs for 102 yards and a touchdown. Wallace throws for a touchdown. The Bengals just didn't do anything on offense.
Right, exactly.
Well, clearly because they lost. But Carson Palmer throws for 2 touchdowns, 371. Terrell Owens, 10 receptions, 222 yards, and a touchdown. How do you lose when that happens?
Yeah, incredible game for him. All goes for naught.
Well, you're just on a
I don't know
roll.
what I'm doing.
These are great. Are you guys writing these down at home, please? Because I don't have a pen or paper. These are great. We have to get a scribe in the back in the production room to write down these. All for naught. I like it. But I'm just shocked. This game shocked me. I'm at work looking at all the scores. Yeah. What happened there? What can I say?
Well, we both picked the Browns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're never wrong.
We're never wrong.
Don't worry about
so
it.
there you go. Yes.
The Bungles. Pathetic. The Packers played the Lions. 28-26. Packers win barely.
Yeesh. Yeah. It wasn't. They went up big.
They did. And then
But
as again at work, seeing the score, like, oh, they got it, and then seeing it at the end. How do they get within 2?
Exactly. Woodson with an incredible interception play where he picks it off by diving on the ground. Then gets up.
No one notices. And he
Gets
runs
up, runs in for a touchdown, dives from like 5 yards out to get the touchdown.
That was one of the best leaps
That was
I've ever
awesome.
seen in my life.
That was awesome.
Literally takes off, flying over defenders and gets in. Unbelievable play.
That's a Reggie Bush play of
That-
old.
yeah.
Yes. But
Not now, because his leg is broken.
yes, that's a shame.
is.
That's not funny.
It's not funny,
That's
no.
not funny.
A little bit, but not really that much.
So I mean, this is they won. They got the job done, which is it's important. I mean, and I think that's what we're seeing this year. It's just important to win against these teams.
That is
just have to win.
That's the headline for this year. I think there's only 2 undefeated teams left.
Just one, the Chiefs.
One. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yep.
A lot of teams with 2 losses, 1 undefeated team after 4 weeks. I mean, it's a lot harder to win games, and you're just happy to get by. And that's really all you need to do in the NFL. There's only 17 weeks. Just sneak by, and you're fine.
And it's the Chiefs.
It's the Chiefs.
The Chiefs are 3-0.
So much for winning the division.
The Chiefs. I'm gonna have to get my cholesterol checked. No, don't worry. The Charles will come back. The Charles. They should be the San Diego Charles. That'd be awesome. The Chargers. They're gonna come back. They always do. You know it better than me, Broncos fan.
Actually, I just remember the game in week 2 where Denver got like 3 blown calls their way when like Jay Cutler had the ball slip out of his hand and they called it a forward progress something. And you remember that game. Poorly called. The Broncos. That was when they were decent. But Sean Hill, 331 yards, 2 touchdowns. Didn't actually play that bad for the Lions.
Yeah, I don't get why the Lions offense is doing so well. They scored 32 against the Eagles.
I mean, he was their leading rusher, which is sad.
Which is sad, yes.
Again, that's sad. But Aaron Rodgers, 181 yards, 3 touchdowns. Really not that exciting.
Yeah, 17 attempts?
Again, the
that's
rushing
just
game
weird.
is gone.
Exactly. Yeah,
39
it's gone.
yards. It's gone.
Yeah, I guess we didn't need to get like Marshawn Lynch or anything.
No,
I don't know.
because he's
let him
clearly,
go somewhere else.
He's clearly
That's
better
fine.
off as a Seahawk.
Yes, definitely.
We'll get to that when we
Yeah.
get to the Seahawks and their hapless, non-existent running game. Whose running backs I have on my bench? Denver won.
Denver won.
I told you. You pick against them, they win. What happened? I didn't pick Denver.
That's right, and they won.
I picked the Titans, assuming they would win and run all over Denver. Well, wait. Hold on a minute. 26-20, Denver beats the Titans. Chris Johnson only rushes for 53 yards. Chris Johnson, that
Yes.
200 and some yards last year. Vince Young, 17 for 28, 173 yards and a touchdown. The real story is Kyle Orton, who leads the NFL in passing yards, throws for 341 and 2 touchdowns. Brandon Lloyd, 115 yards receiving. Kyle Orton leads their rushing because the Denver running game is non-existent. But if you're throwing for 341 yards and 305 plus yards, that's fine.
Might as well, yeah. This was just a terrible game for the Titans. The Titans did not play well at all. And they still had a chance to win at the end. That ball went right through the guy's hands.
Oh, yeah. Right through.
The just perfectly delivered pass by Vince Young. It goes right through his hands. But Denver, nice job. Not looking so bad.
At this point in the season, I'll take 2-2.
2-2 is not bad.
Especially in the league now. Like, you're lucky to have a win.
Yeah, seriously.
The way things are going. And it's funny because like I'll play as them obviously in Madden, and when you do that new game channel thing where like the coaches pick the play, you're always in the shotgun. They never run the ball, and I could see why Kyle Orton leads in passing because they don't run it anymore.
But yeah, I mean, you got to be. Kyle Orton's not doing so bad, so I mean, why not? And Lloyd, he's been doing really well.
It's on my fantasy team.
That's good.
And
he's been dominating.
He has been doing well, which is good. It's good to see. It's just the fact of I'm afraid of their inconsistency. If they show this every week, it's fine. But like they'll beat the Titans now, and next week they'll lose to whoever they're playing. I think it's like the Ravens or something along the lines of that. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm loving it now, but we'll see what happens. We had the Seahawks losing to the Rams, who won for 2 straight weeks. Rams.
Yeah.
20-3.
Good call.
22-3, I should say, the Seahawks. The Rams, Sam Bradford throws for 289 yards and 2 touchdowns. That was basically the offense. And no offense at all from the Seahawks. They just would take delay game penalties, put the ball down, and just wait it out. Matt Hasselbeck, 191, no touchdowns. Forsett, 65 yards, no touchdowns. Stokely, 4 receptions, 62 yards, no touchdowns. The running game for the Seahawks is gone. I don't know if they had it since Sean Alexander. I'm pretty sure they didn't. It kind of left with him. He must have the key or something, and he has to give it back because they're not doing well at all. They just did get Marshawn Lynch from the Bills for, I don't know what, probably draft picks. That's the easy thing. You just throw people draft picks. Maybe that'll light them a spark. I doubt it because you got a Bills running back who can't run now in the first place.
Yeah, you were right about the Rams. You called it. I just can't believe that the Rams are leading the division.
Sam Bradford's not doing terrible.
No, he's not. Sam Bradford's doing really well. Like the Rams are not. Like they've like doubled their win total.
Yeah, seriously.
Like they're playing pretty well, and in a weak division, they could make the playoffs. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win that division? That is the worst division ever.
Yep.
Not even in football. That's like the worst division ever.
It's up there.
The Seahawks, the Rams, the 49ers, and I'm missing a team.
I'm not gonna help
and
you.
I'm good. Oh God.
You're just gonna
It's
struggle.
the Seahawks, the Rams, See, I've even lost a team now. Oh God.
The Seahawks, the Rams, the 49ers, and the
Cardinals.
Oh,
well,
they're in first place of the league. Clearly. No, they're playing terrible too. That division is hapless in itself. The division.
It's terrible.
So the Rams do what they do. They play okay. They get by. It wasn't an excellent game, but it wasn't a poorly played game. It was fine. Maybe I don't want to get my hopes up for the Rams. I haven't got my hopes up for the Rams since they were in the Super Bowl, but I was rooting for the Titans.
Yes, exactly.
So I've never really got my hopes up for the Rams at all. Moving on, we had the Saints beating the Panthers 16-14. Drew Brees, 275 yards and a touchdown. Clausen, 146 and a touchdown. Story here, I guess, is John Carney, the newly acquired quarterback for the Saints, gets 3 field goals for them, helps them along the way to win. But the Saints are playing terrible right now.
They are.
Where are the Saints? Marching in from last year.
That's good.
That's a song.
Yeah.
They're playing not at all well, but the Panthers are playing even worse, so they had nothing to worry about. Yeah. Panthers fall to 0-4. Saints improve to 3-1. So on paper, the Saints look like, oh, here we go. And but looking at them though, they're just not clicking yet.
No, not at all. I mean, the Saints getting by, I guess.
Yeah.
They're getting by, and I'm saying that's the most important thing right now in this league. That it doesn't seem like there's really a favorite, a great team that separates itself from everyone else. And it seems like from week to week, every game, there's no gimmies on the schedule. No. There's just no gimmies. So, I mean, the Saints, great job winning here against the Panthers. The Panthers are terrible.
They're bad.
They're really bad. So, I mean, I don't. This isn't good for the Saints.
No.
Great, they're 3-1, but this isn't good. You shouldn't be looking to like, oh yes, great, a great 3-1. They're not looking good.
Really, I think they won because they basically held the ball for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
The Panthers just didn't have enough time to match them and score. Because, again, Clausen didn't do amazing, but the running game, Williams, I think it was, had his longest run in a while. He had like that 56-yard touchdown run.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, just destroys through the Saints and just starts running in. What's happened?
Yeah, exactly.
But the Saints survived, and that's really all you need to do. They probably started singing the song. That helps out. Well, we had the Ravens finally end the undefeated Steelers streak at 3 games, and it was 17-14 Ravens. Flacco throws for 256 and a touchdown. Charlie Batch, 141 yards, no touchdowns, but Mendenhall got 2 running it in. Randall L., that old... I guess he's back with the Steelers.
I guess he is. I didn't even know that, actually.
I made that quip last week about, if they only had Randall L. They do.
Apparently they do.
He went 50 yards and no touchdowns, but a defensive battle, and the Ravens come out on top with a game-winning drive by Joseph Flacco. Kind of blew it, though, and then got another chance, and the game was just... field goal miss opportunities by the Steelers. I don't know the exact number of misses. I'm pretty sure it was at least 2, where they went down and then they missed 2 field goals. I want to say it was 2 misses, but that hurts when you're playing the Ravens.
Absolutely, yeah. You made the right call here as well, but it was a close game, and the Steelers could just as easily be 4-0 right now for Big Ben's return, but they are not. The Ravens, just a battle here, just a struggle. 17-14, just struggling to get touchdowns and everything. So, but the Steelers right now, you have to be pretty happy with how the first half of the season has gone. The first quarter of the season has gone so far, because you've had Charlie Batch and Dennis Dixon at quarterback for you. So
starting quarterback.
Yes, and you're 3-1. So you got to be happy. On top of the division right now, tied with the Ravens. You got to be pretty pleased with how you're doing.
I mean, you look at these games, they put up a statistic. In the last 3 years, there hasn't been a higher margin of victory than 4.
Yeah.
All the games end in a game-winning field goal or something like that.
Right.
But the Steelers really hurt themselves. They should have won this game. They had prime opportunities, missed field goals, and the Ravens just capitalized, I guess you could say, and Flacco ends up with the winning drive at the end after just an ugly game. Usually very good defensive games are kind of ugly, and you're just like, oh, geez. What's going to happen in this game? But again, they get a bye week, Big Ben comes back, and they're ready to go. So that's going to be interesting to see. I expected them to be 2-2. I figured they'd be happy. They're 3-1.
Yeah.
They're riding high, again, as Ozzy would say. So we're going to head to a quick break. If you guys want to text us with any of your comments or what we should talk about coming up, that would be 570-212-9877. For those of you watching, they took the liberty of putting it on the screen for you in case you can't listen to my voice. It's 570-212-WUSR. That is our text line, and text at will. Whatever, if you think we're wrong or whatever, that's fine. And we'll come back, we'll go over the rest of the games, and we'll pick who will win next week. You don't even have to worry about it. We'll be correct.
That's right.
And that'll be that.
That'll be that.
We'll be right back. You're listening to the John and Joe Sports Show, 99.5 WUSR and the Royal Television Network. Stay with us.
What's up? This is my friend Rob from Michigan.
What's up?
He's a teenager.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool.
Woo! Hey, you want to slow down there?
No.
Really? Oh, okay.
What are you doing?
We're shooting a viral video. Hold on, I want to see this. Hey, this is his last 5 minutes on Earth. Little something to Mom? Say something to Mom. How about, goodbye, Mom, sorry.
Hey guys, this is my teenage friend Rachel. She's cool.
Hey. Hey, could you watch the road?
Hey, could you watch the road?
Okay. All right, well, if we die in a car crash, I want to donate my eyes to my neighbor Gary. He has a boat, and he sails all around the world. I would love to see that. I don't know if he actually needs eyes, but who would turn down a free pair of eyes, right? Who's that rich?
You believe this guy?
Are you trying to start a wildfire?
Sorry. Pastor Honey?
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
So, April.
Yeah?
You know your charger's still using energy when it's plugged into the wall, right?
Yeah, but that's not my charger. I don't even have a cell phone.
Millions of kids are using their energy wisely. What's your excuse?
So, April.
Yeah?
You know your charger's...
And we're back here on 99.5 WSR Scranton and the Royal Television Network. That was funny to watch.
Yes, coming back to you in an interesting way. You could see me through my body, actually. It was insane.
That's only happened one time. I noticed it. I went to pick you up the one time, and it was just like, whoa! I didn't tell you about it until now. That happens to you. So, we're being simulcast. It's pretty cool. Channel 9 in the dorms if you want to look at us. If not, just keep listening. If you want to give us a text, it's 212-9877. It's 212-WSR. Couldn't get the graphic up because it was my name. All right, so Texans, Raiders. Texans, 3-1. Raiders, 1-3. Texans win 31-24. Matt Schaub, 192 yards, 2 touchdowns. Foster, 131 yards and a touchdown. Gradkowski for the Raiders. That's their quarterback now. 2 touchdowns, 278 yards. McFadden really doesn't do anything, runs 47 yards. And Texans just play better than the Raiders. I feel like they should have won by more and given up less points, but again, they win. That's really all you could ask for this year.
Exactly. The Texans get the win here. You have Foster not playing the first quarter because of something. I don't know, he missed a team meeting or something.
Yeah.
Maybe it was something more serious. But yeah, he just comes out, they hand him the ball, he runs an 80-yard touchdown. So, I mean...
Then laughs.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, so I just... the Texans were just clearly better here, and it shows just based on that they sat one of their best players as of now, and, you know, they still get the victory.
Yep, that's really all you could ask for. And the Raiders fall to 1-3. Whatever.
They beat the Rams.
They did, but at that point, the Rams were still... Moving along, we have the Colts losing to the Jaguars, 31-28. How does that happen, Joe? This used to happen in previous years. Like the Jaguars would upset the Colts.
Remember when they were good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple bands are like that. I remember when they were good.
Yeah, remember when someone in the back said that remember when Paramore was good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when Linkin Park was good?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a remember when
just...
Linkin Park was good. That is, yeah.
But
it's just fun. I can go off on a rant on that, but
I'm trying to
hold. Don't get me started.
Flip the desk. All right. Jaguars hit a 59-yard field goal to win the game, stunning the Colts, stunning myself. How does this happen?
I don't even know.
I mean, Peyton
I can't
Manning,
explain.
352, 2 touchdowns. Joseph Adai, 2 touchdowns. Maurice Jones-Drew, 105 yards and a touchdown. The Colts losing. They're now 2-2. Clearly not the dynasty that they used to be. And it seems like in order to beat the Colts, if you stay with them throughout the entire game, if you don't let them get on top, build a lead, and just control the game, if you stick with them, you usually come on top or you have the opportunity to.
Yep, yeah. I mean, you have Peyton Manning throwing some key interceptions in this game. And like you said, the Jaguars just kind of stuck with them. They wouldn't go away. And they come out at the end. They had a 59-yard field goal.
Huge kick.
Incredible kick. So, I mean, how does that happen? I don't know. It's the way this season is going.
Yeah, it really didn't surprise me.
And this is bad news for the Colts. Really bad. They've lost to 2 divisional opponents. And those are their 2 losses. So you can't be losing to these teams. You're not far back in the division right now. The Texans are leading it. But you can't be losing to divisional opponents, especially when you're the Colts and you're the superior team.
Not a good idea to do that. No. Moving along, we have the game of the week. Well, it should have been. It kind of turned out to be subpar. 17-12, the Redskins beat the Eagles. Sounds like a baseball score, 17-12. Donovan McNabb, his first game back in Philadelphia, and kind of a good moment for Philadelphia fans of the Eagles. They give McNabb a standing ovation when he runs through the tunnel, which I thought was good because I thought they were going to boo him and light the field ablaze and pick it around the thing, but they gave him the credit he deserved. It was probably more or less clapping because of the career he had and clapping to come back because their quarterback situation is in shambles.
Yes.
But Michael Vick, the story here though, first quarter goes for a run like he usually does, avoids guys, going for a touchdown, gets sandwiched between 2 Redskins guys, hurts his ribs and chest, and he'll be out next week against whoever they're playing, which we'll find out. I don't memorize the schedule. I apologize.
I'm not sure.
But Kevin Cobb has to come in. The Messiah ascends from the heavens. Descends from the heavens. You can't ascend. That's awkward. Descends.
You could go so high that you'll end up going back down the bottom and then coming back up.
He actually descends. And he has to lead the Eagles, and he throws for 201 yards and a touchdown, but really doesn't do anything at all, though.
He really does. He just kept throwing 5-yard passes the whole time, and it worked. But they needed to get back in the game much quicker
you're
than
losing.
that. I mean, they almost won.
They did.
It was in Jason Avant's hand. The ball was in Jason Avant's hands for
last second Hail Mary pass, bombed it, and it was a jump ball. It literally went into the Eagles' hands, and the guy just dropped it.
He just dropped it.
No one even hit it out of his hand.
No.
I mean, they probably would have, but at least if he grasped it, give people hope. But McNabb only gets like a 60.5 quarterback rating, I believe it was. 125 yards and a touchdown. Doesn't really do that much exciting. Terrain runs for 70 yards and a touchdown. Really, overall, the game was just lackluster in talent and scoring. I mean, we expected it to be who's going to score last, really was what it came down to. And it was just kind of like ho-hum after the first quarter. I mean, Vic goes down and McNabb did nothing.
Exactly. McNabb didn't play well. I mean, Vic goes down, and on that run there was a penalty, so it didn't even mean anything.
Matter. Yep.
So and Cobb not showing anything.
Not impressive at all. He's an average quarterback. He's like Matt Leinart was. He's a guy like that. They're not terrible, but they're not going to lead your team to a Super Bowl. They're just going to get you by if you have someone hurt.
So that's it. I mean, that's all I could say. Terrible game.
Yeah.
Redskins come out on
But
top.
again, McNabb probably feels like $1,000. I mean, he leads his team in. He doesn't get flustered with anything. I mean, he didn't play great, but they win. They got the win coming out of Philly. He could put that in his back pocket that he beat his old team. And a lot of what ifs. What if Vic stayed in? Would have won? Those are questions that can't be answered because he's hurt.
Correct.
So who knows? But nonetheless, 2-2 for both teams. Moving on, the Chargers beat the Cardinals 41-10. Finally, the Chargers get back on track like we said they needed to do. They look like a team. Rivers 241 and 2 touchdowns. Gates 144 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. Tolbert gets a touchdown on the ground. Hall for the Cardinals 82 yards, 8 for 14, no touchdowns. Fitzgerald, 56 yards, no touchdowns. Just a sad game. And the Chargers played how they should have and destroyed the Cardinals, which everyone should as well.
Right, the Chargers dominated. Phillip Rivers got me a lot of fantasy points, and I'm 4-0 in the one league I have. That's basically the best thing talking about in this game. I mean, the Cardinals are, can I say it?
Yes.
Hapless. They're hapless. So I mean,
what does that mean though? Hapless.
I don't know. It just sounds good.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. We'll have to see if we're using it correctly.
Yeah, we will.
We actually do know we're using it correctly, but don't we?
I was just using. There's dictionary pages in my room, like random pages, and I just throw things at them, and I pick the word of the day, and it happened to be hapless one day.
Well, we'll look it up.
We'll
look it up, fine. And we'll get the definition.
We could do that.
Yeah.
I think we're using it correctly though. But other than
we are using it correctly. I guarantee it.
It just wasn't an exciting day for the Cardinals. Cardinals are terrible. That division is terrible, and the Phillies are winning 1-0 already in the bottom of the second. Good segue there for all those Phillies fans. I'm surprised we didn't hear it, because I watched several games, playoff games last year at the University of Scranton, and after every run, woo! It was like bombs were going off.
We are in a soundproof room.
That's true.
So that could be it.
That's true. Let's see. Shane Victorino doubled the left and stole third, and Chase Utley had a sacrifice fly in the first inning. And right now we are in the second inning. Phillies are batting, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. So we'll keep you posted on that as the show goes on, but there's not much left of the show, so don't worry about it. Well, we had the Sunday night game. Great game.
Oh.
This is the game where you don't owe me a candy bar, because the Giants won 17-3, except it was probably top 10 worst football games I've ever watched in my life. The Bears go through two of their quarterbacks. Jay Cutler leaves after concussion, sacked 9 times
in the first
half. How does that happen? 9 sacks.
Makes you feel great about the Packer defense that they couldn't touch him.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He's their leading passer at 42 yards after playing at half. And Forte rushes for 26 yards. Thank you for not doing anything for my fantasy team. Manning throws for 195, no touchdowns. Bradshaw goes for 129 and a touchdown. And this game, here you're watching a play happen, okay? The Giants will have the ball somewhere. You'll turn the channel. 10 minutes later, you'll go back. The Giants will have the ball in the exact same place, because they would turn it over, then the Bears would turn it over, and the Giants would get the ball back, and they wouldn't have moved in 10 minutes. Turnovers. 3 turnovers for both teams. Fumbles, interceptions, 3 and outs. Terrible game.
It was so bad. Like I was writing something. Something was due. I mean, obviously, I just write constantly, and so do you.
Novels.
Yeah. I was writing something, and I looked over at the TV, and I looked back, and I started doing something. I remember the Giants punting, and then I'd look back over, and the Giants would have the ball, and I swear it would only be like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
When I looked, I'm just like, oh my God, the Giants had the ball. It was just that bad. Terrible. No one was scoring. Even when Bradshaw went to score, he got it knocked out of his hands.
Yep. At the 1. Then you'd turn back, and the Bears would still be at the 1, punting it away.
Exactly, yes.
I mean, this made the Giants' defense look like they're the number 1 ranked defense in the league, and it made the Bears' offense look probably how it actually should look.
Horrid. Yes, exactly.
And no one did anything for them, and a poor game. Jay Cutler probably left with a concussion just to get out of getting sacked. Like at one point, I believe it was the second quarter, he went to run out of bounds because no one was open. He's scrambling, trying to avoid. He just runs out of bounds and tosses the ball into out of bounds. It was really hilarious. Like, just get me out of here. So the Bears lose, and they go to 3-1, and Giants go to 2-2. Such is life. Moving on to the Monday night game, we had the Patriots destroying the Dolphins, 41-14, looking like the Patriots of old. Not so much on the offensive end, but more so on the defensive end. 3 blocked kicks.
Okay.
Kind of like punts were blocked, field goals were blocked, one was returned for a touchdown.
Yes. They fired their special teams coach.
Oh, they did?
Yes,
Well,
they did.
Good.
They fired.
Good.
Yeah, he was fired.
The same guy would just run through the same hole. And it was poor to watch. Brady only throws for 153 and a touchdown. Wes Welker, 70 yards. Nothing happening. Chad Henne, 302 and 2 touchdowns.
Woo.
Not bad. Ricky Williams, 56 yards. Bess, 93 yards and a touchdown. Bess.
Yeah. I mean, the Dolphins come out and they take an early lead, or early 7-0 lead, and I'm just watching. I'm like, okay,
here we go.
Not so bad. And then the Patriots realize that they're the Patriots and the Dolphins are the Dolphins.
The special teams.
And they blew them away.
The
That was
teams
awful. That was awful.
The Dolphins are what, Joe? What?
I think they're hapless.
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 Look at that.
There it is. It's on the board.
There it is. Well,
that's our new feature.
Unlucky. Great. Those of you listening on the radio, hapless is unlucky or ill-fated. Okay? Now we all know that. We can move on.
I like that.
I do
I
too.
like
That's
that. That's
nice.
cool.
It's going to be a shame when we have like 6 or 7 of those words, and it's like, which one do we have to put up on the screen? But there's one out of who knows how many we'll get.
So many. We're going to get so many.
Definitely. Yeah. Dolphins, 4 turnovers. It was just a terribly played game by the Dolphins, and they end up losing because you can't win a game when people are just blocking your kicks every time. It happens.
I agree. It doesn't really happen.
It doesn't happen.
Not that bad.
Not that many times. 2-0 Phillies.
Phillies.
You know how? Roy Halladay singles to left. And Carlos Ruiz scores, and Valdez goes to third, and he's still there. How does that happen?
I don't know.
Okay, Ruiz walked.
That's
Valdez reached on infield single to shortstop, and Ruiz went to second. Roy Halladay getting an RBI.
That's a way to help your own cause. That's
Reds,
great.
If the pitchers start hitting for the Phillies, the Reds are in for a rough series.
It's over.
All right, we're going to go to a real quick break again. We'll come back and give you our final pick'ems, and we'll be right. There's really nothing else to say.
We'll be right.
If you want to give us a text to request anything or talk about what we've talked about, it would be 570-212-9877. That's 570-212-WUSR. And we'll be here to answer any of your problems. You're listening to the John and Joe Sports Show, 99.5 WSR, and the Royal Television Network. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
April.
Yeah?
You know your charger's still using energy when it's plugged into the wall, right?
Yeah, but that's not my charger. I don't even have a cell phone.
Millions of kids are using their energy wisely. What's your excuse?
You believe this guy?
Are you trying to start a wildfire?
Sorry. Pastor Honey?
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey guys, this is my teenage friend Rachel. She's cool.
Hey. Hey, could you watch the road?
Hey, could you watch the road?
Okay. All right, well, if we die in a car crash, I want to donate my eyes to my neighbor Gary. He has a boat, and he sails all around the world. I would love to see that. I don't know if he actually needs eyes, but who would turn on a free pair of eyes, right? Who's that rich?
So, April.
Yeah?
You know your charger's still using energy when it's plugged into the wall, right?
Yeah, but that's not my charger. I don't even have a cell phone.
Millions of kids are using their energy wisely. What's your excuse?
So, April.
Yeah?
You know your charger.
And we're back here on 99.5 WSR Scranton and the Royal Television Network. We're the John and Joe Sports Show. 10 minutes ago. Thanks for telling me.
Sorry. Doc?
That was a Space Jam.
Doc, yeah.
Kind of a Space Jam quote type thing. Okay, well, we talked about baseball. Told you who was going to win. We talked about last week's NFL scores. Time to tell you who's going to win next week. Week 5. 5 fingers, 5 weeks. Phillies with the bases loaded. 2 outs, bottom of the second. Shane Victorino's up. Oh, my.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy is oh, boy. And something else. Oh, boy.
Flying Hawaiian.
Yep. All right, so time for the picks. The picks. Pick 'em. Pick me up. Jaguars, Bills. The Bills are 0-4. Picking the Jaguars.
You're picking the Jaguars? I'll pick the Jaguars as well, because you can't pick the Bills until they win.
No, you can't. And it's not, they're due to win. Yeah. But the Jaguars just beat the Colts. Hopefully they remember that next week. Like, hey, we could play football sometimes.
Maybe it'll be a letdown.
I think so.
I don't know.
Buccaneers and Bengals. The Bengals rebound from their terrible performance last week against the Browns and beat the Bucs.
Yes, Bengals go wild offensively and beat the Bucs. Yes.
That was actually a bumper sticker. Bengals go wild offensively. They meant the Tiger, though, not the team. Africa, that had that on a bike.
Okay, that
on
makes
a bike
sense.
fender.
Oh,
I go there sometimes.
Cool.
Just, you know,
cool.
It's fun to do.
Oh, cool.
It's still 2-0. Okay, so Falcons, Browns. Falcons win, even though they're playing at the Dog Pound. The Falcons are a better team than the Browns.
Okay, the Falcons win. They'll beat the Browns.
But they're playing at the Dog Pound.
Yeah. I just say that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Game of the week, Rams, Lions. Lions get on the board. First win of the year come against the Rams. They're playing well. They're going to put it all together against the Rams.
Why? How do these games happen?
Why do they play
Every
each other?
year, exactly. They play each
at
other
all.
all the time. There's always a game like this.
I hope it's 56-53 or whatever it was last year.
Yeah. I'll go with the Lions as well. At home, this is a team that they can beat.
They should have won 2 games so far at least.
Yes.
Didn't happen. Chiefs versus Colts. The Colts beat the Chiefs. The undefeateds fall. The season is lost for all.
Yeah, the Colts have to rebound after last week, and at home they will do so. Throw to Austin Collie, Peyton. He's on my fantasy team.
You know, we're pretty much talking in headlines the whole time. That's pretty funny.
That's fine. You know, it's cool.
Packers, Redskins. Oh, boy.
You know you want to do it.
I don't want to, but I have to. Because I think Clinton Portis is out, isn't he? Isn't he get hurt? Or he's questionable or probable, or there's a letter after his name. I'll go with the Packers just because, I don't know, they lost to the Bears. So...
What does that mean?
I told you what it means when we talked about the Bears losing to the Giants.
Yes.
The Bears are terrible right now.
True.
I'll go with the Packers.
I'll go with the Packers as well. I still think they're a better team than the Redskins, but I'm scared. I'm scared. I think the Redskins could definitely beat them.
The Redskins could be so good, but they never are.
Never are.
Game of the week, Bears, Panthers. Oh, God. Steve Smith is out for a long time. Isn't he injured, Steve Smith?
Is he? Oh, crap. I think
he
you're
might
right.
be. I think he's injured.
I have to get rid of him
But
now.
the Bears might not have a quarterback.
It's true.
I'm going to go with the Panthers.
Go with the Panthers?
I don't know. Why? I don't know. I'm going to say that their running game and quarterback will beat the third string of the Bears if, I don't know. I'll go with the Panthers.
I'm going to go with the Bears. I'm going to say that the Bears' defense is going to win them the game. That's how I'm going to put it right there. The Bears played terrible last week, but the defense wins it. 4-0
Phillies. Shane Victorino singles to center. And Valdez and Holiday score.
Volquez isn't in the game anymore.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. Because he's pitching terribly. Well, good. Well, we picked the Phillies. What are we talking about?
Yes, yeah,
of course
yeah.
it's good. Of course it was going to happen like this.
Right.
Stop.
Yeah.
All right, Broncos-Ravens. Ravens win. Better defense than the Broncos. But the way Kyle Orton's playing, they're still going to lose because it's the Ravens' defense.
Okay, the Ravens win. They've got some confidence after beating the Steelers.
Maybe that's my reverse psychology thing.
It could be.
It's
We'll
not.
find out.
Well, see, I don't care. I'll take the one loss for the actual win of the Broncos. It doesn't matter to me. Giants-Texans. Texans win. Giants are a terrible team. Even though they're 2-2, they won last week being a terrible team.
This is true, but the Texans,
No.
they're inconsistent from week to week.
They're at home.
Andre Johnson, I don't know if he's going to be playing, so I'll still go with the Texans. Texans win. Oh, well.
Saints, Cardinals. I would just feel like I was sinning if I put the Cardinals in the win column. I got to put the Saints as the winners because, I mean, the Cardinals could beat the Saints last year, not this year. Derek Anderson, not your time yet. And as bad as this is going to be the game that Drew Brees gets his Madden injury and game means nothing. Week 5 playing the Cardinals. Watch.
Madden injury.
Wouldn't that be cool if that happened?
I can see that.
I doubt it will, but why not?
Well, I think the Saints win as well. I think the Cardinals just aren't good. They're too bad, but I wouldn't rule them out. Not this year.
It's like you can't not pick the Saints just because they're still the Saints.
Yeah.
Titans Cowboys 2-2 against the 1-2. Oh boy. I'll go with the Cowboys.
I'll go with the Cowboys as well.
I don't know why. Titans played terrible last week against
They're
Denver.
up and down. They win by big and they lose and they win. I don't know.
Could easily see the Titans winning by 24.
Yeah, but I'll pick the Cowboys.
Pick the Cowboys.
At home.
Chargers Raiders. Chargers win because the Raiders are hapless.
Hapless. And I will go with the Chargers as well because the Raiders are hapless.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Hapless team.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles, 49ers. Picking the 49ers. Because Kevin Cobb has to start next week.
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
If not, I don't know. I got to go with the 49ers. They have to win one game. They're not that bad, are they? Yeah.
I guess they could be.
I put Alex Smith a little bit more above Kevin Cobb.
I'm going to go with the Eagles just for the pattern the Niners have shown. They played terrible, then they played all right, and then they played terrible, and then they played all right. So this week they're going to play terrible.
Last week?
Well, last week they lost. I'm not going to say they played great, but they almost beat the Falcons.
True.
So that's...
Yeah, they're due to play terrible.
I'm going to go with trend.
I hate Kevin Cobb.
Go with the trend. I don't like him either, but
that's how it's going to go.
It's cool.
All right, Monday night game, we have the Vikings and the Jets. The game of the week falls on the last game of the season. The season.
It would be crazy.
Brett Favre is going to lead the Vikings to victory because of Randy Moss this week.
Brett Favre is not going to lead the Vikings to victory because they have Randy Moss. I'm going to pick the Jets. The Jets are playing really well.
I think the Jets are going to win, but I'm picking the Vikings.
Okay. All right. I think the Jets are going to win, and I really hope they do get the Vikings out of that division.
I don't know. It just seems like the Vikings are due to shock everyone and play really well, and then the next week they'll play terrible.
Yeah.
I think this week will be the week they start that.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. Well, 6 o'clock, that means our show is over. Unless I change that as station manager, but that's just awkward. You have shows running over time, people get angry, it's not going to happen.
Can't do that.
So we appreciate you listening. Hope we helped you out with our picks. Probably not, but we're going into the top of the third. The Phillies are winning 4-0, and Volquez is already out of the game, so it's not looking good for the Reds.
Not looking good for the Reds.
We'll see what happens. Next week we'll have a whole plethora of scores to give all of you about what happens in baseball. Some of the teams may have already clinched. They probably will have, divisions will be won already by the time we come back next week. The series will be over. It'll be interesting. But we'll let you know about that. Thanks for listening to us, the John and Joe Sports Show. You're listening to 99.5 WSR Scranton and watching us via the Royal Television Network. We appreciate you staying with us, and we'll be back next week, same time, same place, same frequency and channel.
This is my pen.